Untitled Cycle Computer long-term review. This is the 300 model. Don't know what they call it. It's done on this bike. Where's the odometer? Over 16,000 miles. It's probably done a bit more than that because there's been quite a few times when the battery's been flat or it's not been connected for some reason. But anyway, a little over that. And the head here, because it's in two parts really. There's the head, and you can get various head ends. And I'm just about, after all this time, getting a bit of a hang for what the various buttons operate. But the other part of it on this one, it's upside down because I can't be bothered, is the detector, which detects both cadence and speed. It detects the speed from the normal wheel magnet, and it would detect cadence from a magnet alongside the crank. But having changed the cranks and pedals, I've not replaced the cadence. It was fun to see it, but I wasn't making much use of cadence in terms of bicycling and training. You'll see that's quite muddy. So what would I say about it that I'm less than delighted about? It's still working fine. The first thing is this head end resets the trip distance. It's this distance here. It's 31.5 at the moment. When it gets to around about 100 miles. It's not the same every time because I keep watching for it tripping and going to zero, and just goes back to zero randomly, which means that if you're doing a trip of over about 90 miles, you'll lose your trip distance, which is a really annoying thing. And the other thing is, obviously, over a period of time, you have to replace the batteries. Down here, you've got a rubber gasket around it, and it's held in place by a single screw. It's a Allen socket screw, and as you can see, the wheel rim is such that it gets in the way of the screw. I have got a ball-ended Allen key which will just about undo it, but it is only a single screw, which means that there is some play there. It's very difficult to get a tight seal at the rear end of the slot, and you can't change the battery without taking it completely out of there. And even with the wheel out, of course, you've got the other side of the frame, but you've got less of a sharp angle for your ball-ended Allen key to get into it. So that's the only other niggle, is how it fixes into the frame. It's just something you have to work around. You don't have to change the battery that long often, but I'd prefer a securer fixing method than that. If you over tighten that screw, it's got remnants of some Loctite on it, but if you over tighten that screw, it pulls one end of the gasket tight, making the other side a larger gap, therefore you're going to get water getting in. So there we are, the long-term review of that.